Okay, so this is the very first trade for the $1 million experiment. And to do this, we've created an account with $3,000, and we are going to trade a single contract of the micro ES futures. And we are willing to risk no more than 15 points, each point being worth $5. So we're willing to risk no more than $75 with the expectation or desired outcome being a 30-point profit. So our target will be set at 30. The idea being we risk 75 to make 150. Now, of course, in reality, we don't always get our target. And today was indeed no exception to that. We did not get the target, but we did get something. And we're going to go through and talk about this trade. So as you can see here, let me zoom back out. We've got a rising, we've had a falling market, but then recently in the last number of, these are the hourly, in the last number of bars here in the blue, each one of these is an hour, we've gone up fairly substantially. And so we're looking for a pullback right around one of these key areas. And so this looks like it's a possibility. So if I zoom out again and zoom in on the 15-minute, you can see here that this looks like an opportunity here. So we're going to let this unfold a bit. I see here we've got our first red bar. So the opportunity now is to put a sell order in right below this red bar. So let's come over here and make sure we got it in the right spot. Zoom in on that. That looks pretty good. Yeah, no, I think I like it right where it is. So it's right below that first red bar on the 15-minute. And we're going to go with the 15 because the 5 minutes, if we look at the 5 minute, it's just a little, uh, it hasn't really followed this. Like here, it didn't really go below. I wasn't really loving it too much. There's some fake outs on the 5 minute, as I've seen here. Whereas I think the 15 is generally a bit more reliable. And when I look at the 15 here, going back in here again, the market's only been open for, at this point, we're at 7:20 Pacific. So the market's been open 50 minutes. And so I didn't, the ones that happen before the market's open are more easily faked out because there's not the volume there. But here we're going to put that sell order in and we're going to let this play. So let's see how it goes. Now it's about, so like I said, it's about 7:20, 21. It looks like it's still going up, but as we can see here, this 67.75 is a key pivot area that in the past number of days, it's had some points where that's been where some of the buying has stopped, and it's just acted as a sort of a pivot. So there was a reason to believe that that was an area
Order
that
filled.
might retrace. All right, I'm going to pause this for a second. So the order is now filled, and our default 15 handles puts it right at the top here. I'm actually going to add 3 to it. So I'm actually 18. I just want to give it a little bit of room beyond this initial area, just in case it comes up, and I want to give it a little bit of breathing room so I don't get stopped out too early. So so we're just a shade over, but we're close. So now we let this thing play out. And in fact, now that we're in, I'm going to go back over to the 5 minute, and we're going to manage this on the 5 minutes, just a little easier to see what's going on. So we've got, we're a few handles in the right direction, but it's not quite sure what it wants to do. The good news is this is the biggest pullback of the day so far. Up until this point, it's just been grinding higher and higher. Okay, now something that's interesting here, as we move 15 handles in the right direction, we automatically have the stock come up to break even. So now the worst thing that can happen is that the stock may retrace and stop us out. Now, there's something that I did today that I don't normally do, and I did this because if you zoom out and look at the market, let's just for fun, let's look at the, well, no, this is fun. We can look at this one. You can see how this has been on a steady kind of melt up, quite a strong rise for hours and hours. And so it seems to me that there's a high risk of this breaking down, but then bouncing back up again. And because of that, and maybe also because this is a very first trade, I want to turn a profit. So I'm actually going to follow the 5 minute bars down in order to lock in a little bit of money. Don't normally do it this way, but I think that the chances of ending up with nothing to show for the day are quite high. So I wanted to actually follow this with the 5 minute bars. just to make sure we get something. So let's let this keep going. All right, now, oh no, that's okay. It's just close that bar. So it's right where it belongs. Now we'll watch this as it counts down. So at this point, it's looking pretty good. Uh, and we're down to what, a minute 49 remaining in this bar. So let's let this bar go ahead and close. So we're down to 20 seconds. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm coming down to the top of this bar, just right about there. So that is, well, it's exactly 10 points. And so now we're going to let this carry on. And it's one of those things when the market doesn't look like it's going to make a big move, you kind of want to capture some profits. And since we only have one contract on, it's pretty hard to capture partial profits. So, so we're going to let this. That's why I followed it down with my stop. All right, so what I see here is we got 1 second left in this bar. I'm going to bring it down 2 more just to the top of this one. So that's 12 points we've locked in so far. And this is going down a bit lower. And let's see if it can go a bit lower than that. Doesn't really want to. It looks like it's rebounded. Okay, it's taking us out. So we made 12 points. That is $60. 12 times 5 is 60. So we're up $60. That was pretty good. I like that for the first trade. At least it's a profit, and away we go. So hopefully it's uphill, not uphill. It's upward from here. All downhill from here. So there we go.